Straight ahead on 12 News, not in my neighborhood. A Crystal couple on alert catches package thieves in the act. Plus, how bringing a diverse group of students together could help improve reading comprehension.
Basically, we're desegregating.
The new initiative that appears to be working in Robbinsdale area schools. But first, a big biotech sale. The largest Japanese pharmaceutical maker has plans to move into Brooklyn Park. Hello and thanks for joining us. Brooklyn Park could soon be home to a major pharmaceutical company.
The largest pharmaceutical company in Japan has acquired a building along Highway 610. And city officials say it could bring hundreds of high-paying jobs and employees from other countries to Brooklyn Park. Delane Cleveland joins us now to explain this. Delane?
Mike and Alex, the company is called Takeda Pharmaceutical, and if all goes as planned, Takeda would use the Brooklyn Park building primarily to manufacture a drug used to treat adult patients with colitis and Crohn's disease.
Their big thing is they've always used contract manufacturing for their pharmaceuticals. They're a global pharmaceutical company. They've always used it in America, so this will be their first plant in America that's their own. And so there's great plans that people are looking for.
The property Takeda acquired along Highway 610 was formerly owned by Baxter Healthcare. 3 years ago, Baxter had agreed to bring hundreds of jobs to the site. In return, Brooklyn Park struck a deal with the company for a $2 million tax subsidy package. However, Baxter's corporate plans changed and those hundreds of jobs never came. But the building did have about 40 workers employed by Baxter who kept the site active, which made it an attractive option for Takeda. Mayor Lundy says Takeda will keep that team intact, look to hire more people, and seek their own tax subsidy package with the city.
So Baxter got nothing. We're working through an agreement with Takeda. It'll be the same way. It'll be based on the fact that if they bring in jobs, they invest, that's when we invest. But we're not going to invest in upfront.
Lundy said one of the other reasons Takeda looked at Brooklyn Park was because of the city's diversity. The company plans to have about 200 employees on site, many of whom could come from other countries. So the thought is that a diverse city would be welcoming to people from other cultures. Mike?
All right, Delane, thank you. A memorial fund has been set up for the mother of a Cooper High School student who was killed by a hit-and-run driver on New Year's Eve. Aisha Friels was the mother of 4 children, including one at Cooper. She was crossing the street heading toward a cab when she was hit at about 9:20 p.m. New Year's Eve. The head football coach at Cooper, Willie Howard, has set up a GoFundMe page to help with funeral expenses. And you can find it on the Cooper High School Facebook page. As for the investigation, police have arrested a 27-year-old Minneapolis woman in the case, and she is charged with criminal vehicular homicide.
It pays to pay attention to what's going on in your neighborhood. Just ask Crystal residents Peter and Mary Wiggins, who helped police catch 2 thieves who stole a package from a neighbor's doorstep.
The kids were in our front here.
Yep. And then they walked back to that intersection right over there.
To that corner, and they were arguing and carrying on, and they ran up to our neighbor's house, the gray house on the corner.
It was December 1st, and the couple was waiting for Christmas packages of their own to be delivered when they saw something suspicious down the block. A delivery driver had just gone by, and that got the attention of 2 teenagers walking along the street.
He ran up to a house 2 houses down, empty-handed, and ran down the hill onto the street corner over there with a package in his hand. So we had just seen the UPS drop off packages 5 minutes before that. It was the day after Cyber Monday, a lot of packages being dropped off.
The Wiggins called police with a detailed description, and for the help, the Wiggins were rewarded with the Crystal Police Chief's Award on Tuesday night. The suspects were eventually found in the public library, which just happens to be next door to the police station.
Golden Valley's newly re-elected mayor has 2 New Year's resolutions he hopes to abide by as he begins another 4-year term. Mayor Shep Harris took the oath of office Tuesday night following his election victory in November. Harris says his New Year's resolutions are to listen and reach out to people who didn't support his campaign. He also wants to work individually with each member of the City Council. Council members Steve Schmidgall and Joni Clausen were also sworn in Tuesday after they were each re-elected to 4-year terms. While all the council members were re-elected, there is some change at Golden Valley City Hall. City has a new attorney and a new city manager. The Robbinsdale School District is doing something different this year to help improve student reading comprehension.
And the district implemented a new program for middle school students. And as Eric Nelson reports, so far it is generating positive results.
Once they're given higher levels of expectations, they all will rise.
At Robbinsdale Middle School, officials hope that a rising tide lifts all boats, or in this case, all students. The Academic Excellence for All reading program makes honors reading classes available to all middle school students.
We're just now moving forward in terms of trying to raise this bar to this level. We have evidence of it working at Armstrong High School.
The program eliminates the need to apply for pre-AP and honors courses.
We are increasing the rigor for all of our students.
And puts students of all reading levels in the same classroom.
Basically, we're desegregating.
The goal is to close a racial achievement gap and create higher self-esteem for all students.
It is an incredible change for me in my classroom with the amount of learning that I am able to get out of these kids when they're able to have that socialized learning with all the kids there.
Amanda Dahlquist teaches at Robbinsdale Middle School.
Oh, I love it.
She says she has seen instant results in her classroom.
I've written one referral this year compared to last year. I was probably at 40 to 60, if not more.
Of course, with change comes challenge. But in Robbinsdale, they believe this program is a winner.
We have to expect more, but we also have to be very intentional in terms of how we prepare our staff, students in our community in terms of moving forward with our academic expectation.
Several of my grandmas taught in one-room schoolhouses, and they had grades 1 through 8 in that one little building, so differentiation is not actually a new thing.
In Robbinsdale, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
Robbinsdale school officials say previous practices of separating honors program students from other classmates has proven detrimental with reading. It's one reason why the Robbinsdale School District made the change. Coming up, 10 strategies to save.
Maple Grove Financial Planner helps offer some tips to get your budget in order for the new year. And then later in sports, Osseo puts its winning streak on the line in a good battle with Armstrong in girls basketball.
But first, staying mild on Thursday, but the cold is coming. Sunday, the big outdoor Vikings game looks particularly frigid. We'll be right back. The new year has started with the cheapest gas since 2009. Prices today around the Twin Cities were averaging $1.88 for regular unleaded. That's 11 cents lower than last year. At Big B's in Crystal, gas was going for $1.79. Prices have fallen largely due to lower demand and an abundance of crude oil. In fact, the global benchmark for crude oil prices fell Wednesday to an 11-year low. The new year often brings a renewed focus on saving money.
Now, whether you are saving up for retirement or a new car, 12 News reporter Shannon Slatton found some strategies to get you started in today's Money Savers.
Saving money sounds like the right thing to do, but sometimes it just gets lost in your hectic everyday schedule. We spoke to the money-saving experts today at Wixon Advisors in Maple Grove to find out their top 10 money-saving strategies.
If you have a long commute, consider carpooling. There's a number of websites online you can go to find others with similar commutes, such as mntransit.org. And if you have a short commute, you could consider biking.
Every year or every other year, consider calling your internet provider or your trash provider and tell them you're talking to a competitor. This will often lead to a dramatic reduction in your bill.
Track your spending so you know where your money's going. And if that seems overwhelming, try it for just 1 month.
Stop schlepping off to the gym. You can save $50 to $70 a month by working out at home, and it's warmer there anyway.
Don't buy impulsively. If it's a large purchase, sleep on it.
Drive your car into the ground. Don't literally drive it into the ground. Maintain it properly, but you don't need a new car every 2 or 3 years.
Talk with your family about limiting Christmas and birthday presents.
Buy your coffee at McDonald's. meals instead of the big coffee houses. You can save $3 or $4 a day doing that. In over a year's time, that's a big saving.
If you smoke, quit. Also consider reducing your alcohol consumption. This can save thousands a year.
Number 1, pay off your credit card balance every month. Don't pay the minimum as the banks want you to. Pay off the entire balance. This can lead to huge savings in finance and interest costs.
Coming up for the next 4 weeks, we have a special Money Savers series called Budget Busters, where we discover ways to pay less for those everyday items that wind up busting a hole in your budget. Up first, meet a woman who went all year getting her Starbucks coffee for free. We'll tell you how she did it next week on Money Savers.
Lots of good ideas there, and those guys are like the voices in my head sometimes. You know, don't buy that coffee, buy that. Or,
That's exactly right. You just have to do it, right?
Yeah. Just remember it, and then, you know, you have to push through and do it. Right. Well, coming up, Maple Grove store stocks up on Purple Pride.
But first in sports, a strong Maple Grove squad shoots for another win in boys basketball. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
The story of two basketball teams. One is getting better and one is very good, and they meet up and it's not as close as you might think.
No, not as close as you might have thought. And Maple Grove really playing well right now. Maple Grove is proving to be one of the state's top boys basketball teams. The Totino-Grace Eagles won their holiday tournament last week and carried an 8-2 record into their game at Maple Grove. Maple Grove, though, dominates from the start. Brad Davison drives and sets up Tawan Pickford for 2 of his 19 points, and it's 11-3 Crimson. You have to keep an eye on the inbounds passer. Davison gets it to Pickford, back to Davison for the jumper, and it's 18-5 Maple Grove. Teron Pickford penetrates and sets up Reed Nico for the layup as Maple Grove continues to play sharp. Davison gets into the lane and spins to score on the short shot here. He had 16 on the night, and Maple Grove rolls to a 53-19 halftime lead. Second half, Davison drives, kicks to Teron Pickford for an open 3. He scores 17 in the game. The Crimson continue to pile up the points. Jared Martinson on the drive scores 2 here, plus the foul. Maple Grove cruises to an 86-56 win. In another key game in the Northwest Suburban, Osseo edged Armstrong 79-76 to stay undefeated. Zach Tyson had 19 points and Cameron Bennett 18 to lead the Orioles. True Thompson at 20 and his brother Race 15 to lead the Falcons. So Maple Grove and Osseo share the West Division lead in the Northwest Suburban with 6-0 marks in conference play. They play next Friday, January 15th at Osseo. Armstrong is third at 4-2. Park Center is one of 3 teams tied at 3-3. Champlin Park leads the North Division at 6-0 after pounding Andover on Tuesday. Elk River is 4-1, and all the rest of the teams are below 500 in league play. And Champlin Park will meet Osseo in a big matchup on Thursday night. In girls basketball, Osseo entered January on a 6-game winning streak. The Orioles got all they could handle from a young Armstrong team as conference play resumed. The Falcons, freshman Masengo Mutunda drives. She'll score an early Armstrong basket here. The Falcons take a 10-7 lead. Off an Osseo turnover, Tiana James ahead to Latay Terman for the layup. The Falcons build a 7-point lead on the Orioles. Kara Russell is one of the best players in the state, and the Osseo senior drives and scores here on her way to another big scoring night. She averages 5 steals a game and gets 1 here that leads to another layup. Osseo within 2 at halftime, 37-35. Early in the second half, an Armstrong in transition. Mutunda to Carly Kerschel for the layup. Kerschel with 17 points in the game. Mutunda with a nice fake here, takes it herself, scores and is fouled, and she leads the Falcons with 23 points. But after trailing by as many as 8 in the second half, Osseo rallies. Mina Port with a contested shot that drops. He had 12 points off the bench for Osseo. Russell averaging 26 points per game, scores 31 in this one. And Osseo rallies for a 69-65 win over an Armstrong team that gave them a test.
Very tough. They came in and had great intensity, and we didn't match that intensity in the first half, so we have to do a better job of getting on top of that.
In girls hockey, the North Metro Stars had overtime games in 2 of their 3 holiday tournament contests in Coon Rapids last week. The Stars visited Armstrong-Cooper on Tuesday. Leah Yonkers delivers a stretch pass to Emily Ock. She'll break in alone and score for a 1-0 Stars lead. Kenzie Malone with a burst of speed. She skates around the North Metro defense and scores, drawing the Wings even. Less than a minute into the second period, North Metro can't clear the puck, and Haley Hansen puts it away for the Wings, and they are up 2-1. The Stars work a nice 2-on-1 here. Brooke Rainerson sets up Ock for the goal, and it's 2-2. The Stars get a 5-on-3 power play, and Ock scores, and it's a 3-2 lead for North Metro. Then Yonkers' shot from the point deflects off a stick and finds its way in for a North Metro insurance goal. The Stars take it 4-2 for their first win of the season. Man, that is a look at sports.
All right, thanks, John. Up next, stocking up for the big game.
Now, Vikings merchandise becomes a hot seller this week. Just how hot? We'll show you coming up next. And finally, come Sunday, when the Vikings take on the Seattle Seahawks in Minneapolis, it's not just the fans that'll be rooting for the home team.
It's just the nature of the business. When teams do good, we do good. When they do bad, we do bad.
The Vikings' win over Green Bay for the division title has proved to be a win for businesses such as Goldie's Locker Room in Maple Grove. Sales are up around 15% this week, with the top sellers being Vikings jerseys for Adrian Peterson and Stephon Diggs. The purple craze is to be expected, considering that the playoff game is ahead, and this store was lucky because they were able to get some extra Viking merchandise from their store at TCF Bank Stadium. Other sporting goods stores weren't necessarily fully stocked for the run on Vikings gear.
We can't plan for it, but it's very good for business. It helps us get customers for all the other items we sell, the Gophers and the Wild and everything else.
The store manager predicts Friday and Saturday will be big days for business, especially since they have new items coming in with the division title lettering. And we saw some fleece blankets when we were over there.
I think
if you're going to the game.
If you're going to the game, forget the t-shirts, get the fleece blanket.
Fleece, that's right.
Wow.
That's it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow starting at 4.